It wasn't long before the team picked up activity outside.
You're in the area right above our campsite, right?
Okay. The people that have reported seeing it from a distance, obviously they relate it to an ape because it's big and hairy, walking upright. The few people that's had a face-to-face with one, what is the most scary thing about them is they said it's not like a monkey or an ape. It's more man-like.
Matt's got some movement on the hill over here. Dave's going to go up the hill.
Is this the initial area where we think we heard some movement earlier this evening?
Just because there isn't evidence of a Bigfoot found yet doesn't mean that evidence doesn't exist. It just hasn't been found. And when you're out there and you're walking and you hear the leaves crunching and rocks and trees, yeah, you want to see it.
Dave, would Matt see if by the entrance of the house.
Is there any strong odor?
Yeah, we're getting pretty close. Probably about 100 yards.
Steve,
something moving around up there.
Although there had been some movement in the brush, the rapidly worsening weather forced the team to call off their surveillance. The morning after, the full severity of the ice storm was apparent. The cabin had lost all power, and the team found itself stranded on a frozen mountaintop. David Wilbanks went out to check for footprints and the remains of the bait after the night's activity.
what do you reckon? Nothing. Just like expected.
Why do you think nothing came?
Well, you know, if there's a little better weather, it's the ice storm. You know, not too many critters moving around. Any other time you might expect to have had a bear or a coyote, bobcat, something like that come up. But, no, in this ice storm, you're not going to have any movement.
You smell it? Do you smell it? Stink. Stink, bud.
Coming up next, is this Bigfoot finally caught on camera?
That opening right there?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what's there.
The one going up over the top.
Not over that and right there. It's right there. There's a... See that thing moving?
The search for Bigfoot here in Oklahoma had so far produced some interesting but inconclusive results. The team had already come across something in the river bottoms near Adair, and something large was moving around the cabin in the Kiamishi Mountains. But there was nothing to prove that this had been Bigfoot activity and not a bear or a hog. In a final effort to help solve this mystery, they contacted the local Seminole Indian tribe. Bigfoot is well known to them. In fact, they believe that there is more than one.
One is called Stechupko, which means tall man. And he was a tall, Bigfoot-like creature with grayish-brown hair and about 9 to 10 feet tall in that area. There is also one that appears usually in the morning time called Ihoza, which means forget. And that's what this being or creature, animal, makes you do, is forget.
Although woven into their legends, the Indians believe that Bigfoot is a real flesh and blood creature that also has hypnotic powers.
They have magic. Magic able to disappear. Because even when the non-natives, they chase this thing, I noticed that the natives, that the Indian people, when we see it, we kind of get scared of it. But yet, we don't bother it.
He lives underground, and he comes out only at nighttime. If he doesn't, if you put a light on them, they'll disappear in the woods. They even had helicopters, to to look for it. They never did find it. And there's it. It just disappeared in the river bottom.
And so it knows it's in danger, and it uses its magic to get away. A part of a hypnosis stage that it puts people in, and to where it could be standing right there in front of you, and you still wouldn't see it.
Tim Harjo agreed, along with his son Kanjat, to take our crew deep into the Kayamishi Mountains. The following morning, they start trekking to an area where he claims he's seen the creature many times. It wasn't long before he picked up some tracks.
This is what I look for. Look at mine. Right here. Okay, here. Something like that. Whatever it is. Something big goes through there. And it goes down to the bottom. There's a trail. Unless it's a great big buck with a huge rack. But whatever it is, it's big. And if it's the creature we're looking for, he's around. We just got to find out where. Along the edge, there are some big boulders. It's like where one would take shelter, but there's no sign of one that would look like that has been sheltering there. Falling in and out. But let's journey on, see what we can find.
You smell it? Do you smell it? You sure? Stink. Stay put.
Can't be far off the... Can't be far off the top of the hill.
No, I ain't gonna say, but that opening right there, let me see what's there.
The one going up over the top?
Not over that right there, it's right there. There's a, see that thing moving?
On the check over on the top?
Not on the
the
top.
clear space in the middle.
And now, about middle ways.
Yeah, white figurey looking thing. Never mind.
You see it moving?
I see it, I haven't looked, I'm trying to do it with the lens, but then I can't see it on the lens, too far away.
Bigfoot? It was too far away for anyone to make out. But there seemed to be something tall walking upright on the hill across from them. After 2 days trekking in the mountains, the team had finally seen something. But what? That night, cameraman Martin Huntley, a self-confessed Bigfoot cynic, recorded this video diary in the forest.
Rob, the other cameraman, and myself trekked up the hill with Tim and Kumcha, his son, and Martin, the sound recordist. And we got about halfway up, and first of all, Rob smelt the smell, which was, he said, smelled like a wet deer. He said smelled like a wet deer, and I'm going to pick up on this again. I heard a grunt noise that I've actually heard Tim do before. So I backed up slightly to see if I could see Tim, and I'd seen him stood at the top of the hill about 2 minutes earlier. And for him to get back down to me, he would have had to have moved quite fast and made quite a bit of noise. And I've spoken to him about it, and he swears it wasn't him. So something stood within 30 foot to me, or sat or crouched within 30 foot to me, grunted like a... And I don't think it's so much that that something was stalking me, rather than I came across something. I'll believe it when I see it, but there's something.